Hey, what's going on? How are you? How's everybody? Anybody catch my video last night? I was on for about a half an hour between 7:30 and for quarter 8 and 8:15, something like that. I told you I'd be on between 7. I'd start the video sometime between 7:30 and 8. Uh, we'll see what happens next week. I'll let you know before the weekend comes and everything. So what's going on today? Well, everybody's denying that the Epstein files exist, which they do. Trump's in them, doesn't want to be in them. There's a whole lot of people that don't want to be in it. It'd be like tremendous. It would be like some of the scandals that they've had in England over the years. You know, with the Daily Mirror and whatnot. You know, exposing things that they don't want exposed. They're getting better at hiding that stuff now, so we don't know what's going on there. It's I don't know. It happened, you know. It's pedophilia, and these people want to get away with it. So we'll see what happens there. You know, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm having some problems. I had bought a track mouse. You know, one of these. Let me see if I can show it to you. All right. It's one of these things that you operate by your thumb and everything like that. Well, all of a sudden, it worked fine. Then all of a sudden this morning it decides it doesn't want to work. Buttons don't work, and it's affecting my keyboard, won't allow my keyboard to work. Something's wrong someplace. It's completely incompatible, and I'm going to send it back, and I want my money back because it's a piece of junk. And it's $50 worth of, $50 worth of junk. I'm pissed. So anyhow, it said it was compatible, but it's not. So we'll have to wait and see, you know. And but anyhow, what we talk the Epstein files, you know, that's going to be that'll be gone by Sunday probably, because Trump will do something else that'll make everybody start looking in another direction. That's what he does. It's misdirection. You know, he's like a magician. Look here while I steal there. You know. But I don't know what exactly is going to happen. I don't, you know, because there are. You got this Democrat thing, you know, they want this, they want that. The Republicans just say no, and they've got the majority, and then that's the end of it. Which is, there's something radically wrong with our system right now, because it's allowing one party to control everything, you know. And they can stop the midterm elections, you know. That's something they're quite capable of doing, and you never know whether they will or not, you know. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Nothing's working in my room. Now my fan doesn't work right. Wow, I'm having a really tough day here. So anyhow, that was one of the things I talked about last night, and I'm looking for my list, but I don't have it, so I must have thrown it out. Is this it? Let's see if this is it. Let's see if one of these is the list I used last night. Yeah. Grok, that GROK thing that X is using. That's, you know, a manifestation, a digital manifestation of Hitler. And that's not a deal where you can put, somehow or another it's got Musk's personality. You know, and Musk is a Nazi and white supremacist, and he's yearns for the old days of apartheid in Africa, so South Africa. So you know, maybe he'll go back there and try to screw everything up. Who knows? But this again, we're dealing with AI. and I keep telling people, look at the movies, folks. Go back and look at the various movies, like where these computers become sentient people. There's the first one was Colossus, and I don't know what year that came out. That was in black and white, so that's a long time ago. And apparently, usually with these things, what happened, that and war games, those two were the ones where you could appeal to the logic of the system, and you'd get it to shut down. In other words, you'd figure out a way to shut it down. Terminator, there's no way to shut it down. Terminator, you need to destroy it. Terminator is a sentient human. It's just like they're almost human, only they have no empathy, and they're doing their job. They were designed, they put into the defense system to protect the Earth. And what happens when you give a job like that to a non-feeling, non-empathetic entity? It will tell you what the scientists have told you all along. The greatest enemy to this planet, or to society, is humans. We are our own worst enemy. So when you have that, then you get these machines that don't have any empathy or anything like that. So they go around trying to destroy the humans, but in the process, they destroy everything. That's the Terminator's deal. Now, they may figure out another way of doing it, like dropping neutron bombs, which supposedly just kill people and do not damage buildings. So they just wipe out the human race. I don't know what they'll do with the animals, because the animals don't hurt anybody. The animals have been here before we even existed. There were animals on this planet. If you assume that there are two theories, all right? Evolution and I don't know what they call it, the Adam and Eve theory. That God created these people. I'm not sure exactly what the terminology is for that, but if you look at that and you say, well, if it's either way, that both of them are mistakes. That should never have happened. I still go back to the theory that this is a crazy theory. That this planet is an experiment for some other life form, and that's why when they saw the UFOs and everything, and people were being kidnapped and whatnot, they were usually kidnapping an average to below average human being, because that will tell you where the planet stands in the evolutionary cycle. Going to the extremes, the dumbest and the smartest, is not the direction to go in, because that won't give you a true idea of the evolutionary process that's going on. And we are in part of an evolutionary process. Whether who started it or whatnot, but that's a different story, But if you believe in evolution or creation, whichever direction you go, is that there's some serious mistakes been made, because we're self-destructive, and that's the thing that you have to understand. I don't see a lot of the animal world being self-destructive, but you do see a lot of it in humans. You see a lot of self-destructive behavior in human beings, and you don't see too many animals will go and lay down and die. And animals don't usually commit suicide. I think we're the only species that commit suicides. We're also the only species that hunts for sport, as far as I can tell. The shark might do it too, I don't know. I think the shark is the other animal. They kill for sport. They just kill because they just don't like things. They're mentally deranged. And we have a lot of those mentally deranged individuals. But you can blame this situation that we're in right now on anything you want to. You can say, Trump can stand up there and say, God saved me that's bullshit. All right? I don't believe that thing was, I don't know, the conspiracy theorists might be right about that one. That it was a fake assassination attempt. Because this guy was too good a shot to be that close and just nick his ear. And then not never come close again. Go start shooting other people. That was stupid. You don't do that. You're not there to assassinate the president. Then, if you shoot anybody else, you're not there to assassinate the president. Because the other people, the guy that died wasn't any threat to him at all. So, it wasn't even in the way. I don't think he was even blocking a shot, a second shot at Trump. So AI is AI is an example of how bad our evolution went, but they're doing it at a much faster rate. Okay, they'll reach a point where they become aware at a much faster rate than humans converted from apes to human beings and got intellect and all that stuff. The kind of intellect we have is very difficult to say it's evolutionary, because it's a really wild trip, because there's no, where is the first spark of humanity? Not the fact that we go from apes to, where does it come from? And 2001: A Space Odyssey might be the way where it was done. We might have been visited by other people. Like I said, we could be the testing ground to see what happens with the evolutionary process. They might have had some bacteria or something. They wanted to see what would happen to it, and they dumped it here. Who knows? I don't know. There's no way of going back and actually looking at what happened. We're guessing, no matter what anybody says. It's sort of a guess job, But whether what's happening now in terms of democracy, it's the end of democracy. I don't think democracy will ever be the same. I don't think we'll be able to correct it. Because as I said last night, I don't think Trump will allow the elections. And all he has to do is have one of these raids that he's pulling where armed people show up, and the next thing you know, you've got martial law. All across, not just in California or Nevada, wherever it happens, but all across the nation. And if he does that, he can postpone or even cancel the election. So if he postpones it, then the Democrats that are there will possibly disappear, probably, or something. I have no insight into that other than the fact that I believe some of this stuff. I think it's theoretically possible. Just about anything's possible. That's a problem in itself. So, anyhow, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned for information about me going live again. If you want to go over and look what I did, when I do live, I'm going to do only one topic all day. I'm better at that than I am wandering around. I wander around anyhow, but if I come in with the idea of one topic, it's a little, especially doing it live, it's probably a little easier that way. Alright, so that's it for today. Wednesday, July 16th. Hey, I'm 79 and a half years old. Wow. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you mañana.